I want to speak about children who are a little bit older. Now, what about teenagers who are athletic and they want to take in a supplement because they're doing a lot of exercise? Maybe they want to bulk up for a certain sport. Is it advised that they take a supplement for that, or should they just continue eating healthily?
The teenage years are quite important years, because obviously this is a time of a lot of growth, a lot of development, so often your requirements for nutrients are higher in this population. Teenagers can, if they are elite athletes, if they are training a lot, they can have quite an increased requirement for a lot of the nutrients. And one that's possibly a good example that's quite topical is protein supplementation.
Yeah.
We see a lot of teenage boys taking protein supplements in order to gain weight, to gain muscle mass. And this is quite an important issue to address as well. It is possible to meet an increased protein requirement with food itself. So, for example, eggs, fish, lean meat, that is advisable to do it that way as well. For elite athletes, a supplement may be beneficial, of course in consultation with your health professional again. And I think something to realize as well is that a lot of the supplements that are out there, for example, diet protein, and there's a lot of supplements that are aimed at the sort of muscle building population, that often contain dangerous substances, and substances that we would certainly not recommend for adolescents. So for example, pre-workout supplements that supply a lot of stimulants, those types of things are definitely not recommended for teenage boys. No, they're growing, they don't need that kind of thing. So we would be very careful about recommending those. But when it comes to something like a pure protein supplement, it may be beneficial. It does add a convenience factor as well. But I would also first just be in consultation, especially because this is when it comes to elite athletes. Be in consultation with a health professional, determine what the actual shortfall is, see if you can fill it in with food, and then assess the supplements for safety, effectiveness, based on your advice of your health professional.
Now, what are some of those dangerous ingredients that you were speaking about?
Some of the dangerous ingredients would be things like stimulants and supplements that contain appetite suppressants and those types of things, which we wouldn't recommend for especially for the teenage boys, the adolescent population. Something like a pure protein, which would need to be assessed individually, could be more helpful. But it's important rather to avoid those other supplements, stimulants, those types of ingredients, because they can have adverse effects, especially on the growing body.
Now, while you're saying stimulants, you made me think about energy drinks. Should teenagers be drinking energy drinks? What kind of health effects do energy drinks have on our growing teenagers?
I'm not sure specifically on growing teenagers, but things like caffeine would be a stimulant that is found in energy drinks, so I wouldn't recommend that for teenagers. I don't think that it would be a wise approach to take, and rather looking at why are they wanting to take the stimulant? What is the reason? Are they finding that they're not training properly? Are they tired? Do they need more sleep, for example? Trying to find healthier ways to actually deal with the root problem rather than trying to fix it with a quick fix, which is often unhealthy.
Now, I want to talk about teenagers on the other side of the spectrum. Maybe they want to lose weight and they don't want to bulk up. Should they be taking supplements? Should we be giving these to our children who want to lose weight, or again, is it something that needs to be fixed in the diet?
I think in South Africa we have this quite an interesting nutritional situation, because we've got underweight and malnutrition on the one end, and then we've got the chronic diseases of lifestyle, for example diabetes, obesity on the other end. So in our country we're dealing with many different issues, and then on top of that there are the diseases, for example anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, which a select part of the population we find there can be quite a high prevalence of those problems in the population. So when it comes to young girls, I think the first approach to take is having an actual assessment of the girl herself, or the boy as well who might want to lose weight, looking at their body mass index, looking at their weight. Do they actually need to lose weight, or is it a negative perception that they have about their body when they look at the Hollywood stars who they see as ideal and this idealized image that they want to try and emulate? Those types of things often lead to these problems of, for example, anorexia, unsafe supplement use, laxative abuse, and those types of things. So for teenage girls, I would definitely not recommend dietary slimming promotion aids and those kinds of products which promise to result in weight loss. It's also not addressing the underlying concern as well. And because teenage years are a time of a lot of change, a lot of psychological issues that we need to work through, starting weight loss supplements in that time can actually be damaging in the future. So we don't recommend that for teenagers.